Thompson. Delvon Rowe for the tip. And it's tied up just 3 seconds in. Hansbrough had a hand around it. And since they had not established possession, we'll do it all over again.
Well, you can see right away, nobody is going to be backing up. Both teams are going to go at it full throttle.
Over 70,000 here at Ford Field. It'll be Hansbrough and Walton. They are the two that tied it up. A record crowd to see the championship, and we're underway with North Carolina. The first possession with Ty Lawson. Impossible to stop so far in this tournament.
Kalen Lucas starts out on him man-to-man. Walton is on Ellington.
Thompson with a freshman defending, and perfect shot by Thompson for North Carolina.
Jim, he has struggled in the tournament, only 7 points a game on 40% shooting for Thompson. He could be an X factor. On the season, he averaged 11 points and shot over 50%. If he can catch it in the low post, he could be dangerous.
Now Michigan State with its first look. Suton over Hansbrough. That is a three by Suton, who did not score in the first half here on Saturday against UConn. He was the outstanding player of the Midwest Regional, though, a week before.
He only took 5 shot attempts in that game, Jim. Only 1 in the first half on Saturday. Made 2 of them.
It's the three. Here's Green with 1. And a swish by Danny Green. Morgan wasn't ready for it, and the first turnover is committed by the Spartans.
Well, Michigan State is going to selectively run tonight, Jim. When they don't have anything for sure in transition, they'll back it out and run their half-court offense. They've got a number of sets. It's important that they have a low turnover game. That's a dead ball turnover, so it doesn't allow Carolina to get into transition. But Michigan State wants to get a good shot every trip.
For the 3rd straight time in the title game, North Carolina faces a Big Ten opponent. It's Ellington slicing through and using the glass. They've already brought in the first sub as Michigan State. Darrell Summers, who gave them quite a boost in the win on Saturday against the Huskies, including an electrifying dunk.
Both teams man-to-man. North Carolina has been outstanding defensively in this tournament, holding teams to under 40% shooting.
Suton was ready to load up another three, lost the handle on the drive, and again Michigan State turns it back to the Tar Heels.
When Michigan State has struggled as Raymar Morgan returns to the lineup, replacing Darrell Summers. When Michigan State has struggled this season, turnovers have been a problem. Unforced errors already with 2 here to start the ball game.
Here's Hansbrough, big step to the basket, and he is fouled. Foul is on Rowe. 2 shots coming for Hansbrough.
Excellent slip of the pick that time by Hansbrough. And Delvon Rowe late rotating. And Hansbrough, who averages 9 free throw attempts per game on the season and makes 86% of them at the line now.
Hansbrough missed a couple at the start of the game against Villanova on Saturday, but usually so reliable, and in fact he was again in that national semifinal win with yet another double-double in his storied career. North Carolina has started every game of this tournament with a run. They've already got the quick 8-3 advantage, and Michigan State 1 and done on that trip. Carolina 3 for 3 from the field, and committing their first turnover back to the Spartans.
They've only averaged 11 turnovers a game, have the Tar Heels, and that's pleased Roy Williams. They've been efficient, and they've been very stingy defensively. Michigan State has to move this defense, get that ball going from side to side, try to make North Carolina move and rotate. There's a good look right there.
That's a 2, and it's well short by Suton. And here comes the man presented earlier today with the Bob Cousy Award. Lawson gives it up. Thompson, that's usually his shot. Lucas looking for a seam. Feeds Morgan. Baseliner, yes. Raymar Morgan had a monster night in the semifinal game Saturday. 18 points, 9 rebounds, and North Carolina comes right answering back.
And a steal on the inbounds pass.
Lawson feeds Thompson, and Sutan reaches in.
Boy, North Carolina is really on top of its game right now, Jim. Attacking when it's available. Excellent pressure defensively. Michigan State on its heels just a bit here. Tom Izzo talked about being able to weather the storm when North Carolina makes runs. And that's something Michigan State's going to have to do by executing offensively, taking care of the ball, and then really getting back defensively, even when North Carolina, even after they've scored, because North Carolina will push that ball up your back even after a made field goal by the opponent.
Subs in for Tom Izzo, and this is a regular pattern for them. They'll use 11 players, most likely. And 2 free throws for Deon Thompson. So 2 by Thompson after a basket by Ty Lawson. And there's Davis, the rookie for North Carolina, 6'10" freshman from Richmond, Virginia.
Well, a good start for Deon Thompson. 4 points already in the first few minutes.
Draymond Green seeing his first action. He had a nice second half Saturday. Summers, and that's Davis snatching it away from Sutan. Again, Lawson, the top point guard in the country, recognized earlier today with that prestigious Cousy Award. And I don't think many people watching the tournament would doubt that he was the most meritorious honoree.
Without question, Jim.
Ellington hits the 3. And already North Carolina, there's that opening run we talked about. But in transition, Spartans get it up ahead for the easy layup by Draymond Green.
It's really pick your poison with North Carolina. I think Michigan State has to try to choke off the 3-point shot and make this team a 2-point shooting team. But right now, North Carolina making 3s and making 2s. So many weapons, so many different angles of attack for North Carolina.
Traveling call against Sutan. North Carolina's hit 6 of its first 7, and all 5 starters have already scored. How would you like to have this starting 5? Tyler Hansbrough just moved into 5th place with that basket he made a moment ago. All-time point scorer, 5th NCAA tournament play. Names like Leitner, Elvin Hayes out of Houston. Pretty impressive. Danny Manning, Oscar Robertson. He's on that first 5. Bobby Fraser in for the Tar Heels, and first a foul away from the ball on Chris Allen, just inserted into the Michigan State lineup. Not a good start for the Spartans. What's happened here, Clark?
Well, they've had the turnovers, and they've had 4 turnovers in 10 possessions, Jim. They've been a little quick in their offense, so they haven't been able to move Carolina's defense, and on missed shots have not been able to get to the offensive glass. And the firepower of North Carolina on full display. They've gone inside, they've made 3s, and they've converted turnovers.
Short this time, and Sutan had him boxed. It's Lucas. And that shot blocked by Davis, who retrieves it.
Terrific challenge and retrieval by Ed Davis. And this is where you have to be careful against North Carolina. Good job by Michigan State to choke off Lawson's penetration.
But it's back to Lawson. He gets past Lucas, and he'll take the baseliner well short. Davis, though, race to the rebound, picks it off the floor and scores. And a steal right back by Lawson. Fraser comes in, step up 3, no. But again, offensive rebound leads to 2 more for North Carolina. Wayne Ellington.
Boy, this North Carolina team really focused, Jim. You can see the experience of last year playing itself out here in the early going. They are sharp at both ends.
Sutan, no, and that's going to be a foul call against Green of Michigan State.
Well, we talked about the need for Michigan State to have a low turnover game. Miscommunication there. Sutan passes up a shot and dribbles into a turnover. Alligator arm that jumper. and exactly the kind of start Tom Izzo did not want to see his team have. It's literally put the mute button on this partisan Spartans crowd, and now Carolina able to play freely and with its full repertoire offensively.
Summers reaching in on Lawson. Another little 6-0 spurt here by the Tar Heels. And that's something they've done with regularity during the tournament. 23 times they've had a run in the tournament that was at least 6-0. They just get them, they pile them up so fast.
Well, Jim, they are the epitome of the Spurt ability team.
Yeah.
Because they defend, they cause mistakes as Lawson misses a free throw. He was only 10 of 17 from the line on Saturday, but it didn't hurt Carolina's cause. But they turn you over. They turn those turnovers into points. They're lethal from behind the three-point line. They can punish you inside in the paint. So they've got all kinds of ways they can rack up points in a hurry. And Michigan State has fed into that here in the early going with the carelessness on offense.
That's Morgan. Rowe fighting for it. So is Davis of Carolina. And they call it against Danny Green of the Tar Heels. Near the end of tonight's game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team. Chevrolet will make a contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. And you can learn more about Chevy innovations at Chevy.com. And that foul against Danny Green, the first team foul for North Carolina.
Who can step up and knock down some shots for Michigan State?
Now that shot influenced, but they say another foul. And I believe it's Green again. It is. That's two quick ones on Danny Green, who had 3 in the first half the other night. So 2 now. And he's looking to the sideline.
No move yet for anybody to replace Green.
Nope, now they're going to bring in Ellington after just a short break. Summers at the line for Michigan State. This Michigan State team led the country this year in rebound margin. That's the stat that you care about, you know, rebounding. But so far, we've seen North Carolina get a number of second opportunities at the offensive end, and nothing really there for Michigan State when it comes to putbacks.
Well, that lack of patience on offense, Jim, when you don't move the defense with ball movement and player movement, then guys can easily block out whoever they're defending. Offensive rebound lanes open up when that ball is moved or you get dribble penetration.
And Deion Thompson continues his good start. He's got 6. Michigan State tries to push it ahead, but Carolina got back in a hurry. Allen gets Frazier to commit. Chris Allen will be going to the line.
That's still a little quick. Allen is going to get the benefit of 2 free throws, but Michigan State just out of sync here offensively. North Carolina's pressure bothering them on the perimeter, and the Spartans a little impatient, and some of that you can attribute to inexperience, not having been here with this group. You see a different calm and focus with the North Carolina team because they're on a mission, and many of these guys have been here before, not in the championship game, but that bitter taste of that embarrassing loss to Kansas in the semifinals, fueling the focus of North Carolina.
It's been there all season, hasn't it, Clark?
It sure has been, and we've watched them throughout the tournament. As a matter of fact, a week before the tournament started, we saw them in Chapel Hill against Duke. And I think the defensive effort by this North Carolina team during the tournament has been excellent. They've kept dribble penetration to a minimum, and they've also challenged shots effectively.
Drew had it knocked out of his hands, and he touched it last, so it's going back to Michigan State. Thursday on CBS, beware, there's a killer among the wedding guests. The mystery event Harper's Island. It premieres this Thursday on CBS after CSI on America's most watched network. Corey Lucius comes into the lineup for Michigan State. Perhaps he's the guy that's going to give the Spartans a spark. He certainly did with 11 in the first half the other night. Almost turns it over the first time he touches it.
Well, he's not very tall, Jim, and he's going to have a tough time with the length of the perimeter defenders for North Carolina. So you see Larry Drew III is a couple of inches taller and longer. Wayne Ellington the same, Bobby Frazier. So they're going to have to try to free up Lucius for some perimeter shots for him to have an impact.
Michigan State's hit only 3 out of 9. They've turned it over 5 times. Here is Corey Lucius. Sets up Allen. Open look. And Suton able to get that effort deflected off the hands of a couple of Carolina players. That's a break for Michigan State. Carolina had its hands on it.
Yeah. Fortuitous bounce for the Spartans. Now can they dig in defensively?
Ellington goes baseline. Suton clears it for the Spartans.
Well, good job of getting back defensively by North Carolina, but a touch foul on Bobby Fraser.
2 on Fraser, and that goes with 2 on Danny Green. We're going to see Hansbrough and Lawson, Tyler and Ty. Now that tandem that really is what it's all about for the Tar Heels, is where it all begins with those two. One was the national player a year ago, and this year Lawson succeeded him as the ACC Player of the Year.
Carolina's defense is really solid, Jim. Michigan State unable to penetrate and break down defenders to create opportunities. There's a nice drive by Lucius, but a poor decision on the pass.
And Lawson so dangerous when he's running with it. Here he goes, drive it in, and almost a 3-point opportunity. We're back at Ford Field. Jim Nance, Clark Kellogg, and Michigan State trying to do something only Arizona has ever done in the history of this tournament, and that is to defeat 3 #1 seeds to win the title. Michigan State with the win over the overall #1 seed. Louisville a week ago. UConn in a thriller here on Saturday, but North Carolina with the big early advantage, sending Lawson to the line for 2 shots.
A strong start by an experienced, explosive, focused team. If Michigan State's going to get back into this, Jim, they've got to come up with some defensive stops and be able to try to score in transition. They've not had success in the half court going against a very good, aggressive man-to-man defense from North Carolina. And I think the size of the perimeter, other than Ty Lawson, the Michigan State guards are smaller than Fraser and Ellington. And that's a palming violation on Kalen Lucas.
And that's a 7th turnover on Tom Izzo's side.
Better get back. Carolina doesn't wait. They push that ball up quickly. Tough matchup here. Corey Lucius defending Ty Lawson.
Thompson's got the advantage, and he's heading to the line for a 3-point opportunity. Suton on the foul.
What
His second.
What a time for Deon Thompson to play the way he's played most of the season.
Got the advantage, and he's heading to the line for a 3-point.
Look at this nice post-up position, though. Suton playing behind him allows him to get sweet real estate inside, and then it's just a pivot and a finish. And Suton, because he was out of position, committed the foul.
That was the 7th team foul against Michigan State already, and the 2nd on Suton, so that's a big issue as well. And Thompson brings the lead to 18. They have to not only try to figure out things 18 down, but with Suton sitting down. They've got Green on the floor and Marquise Gray, number 41, for the first time. Lucas, long on the 3, and that's the long reach of Thompson for the Tar Heels. Lawson firing up for 3. Gray handling it for the first time, doubled up, turn around, it dips down and out. Again, Thompson scoring at each end.
It's one and done for Michigan State. The size of Carolina overall just too much for Michigan State to handle, inside and on the perimeter.
Hansbrough flings in another one for 2, and a reach in on Ellington. So the lead is already swelled to 20 thanks to their inside play.
Points in the paint. Off penetration here from Ellington. Beautiful move, and then a weak side rebound. Deon Thompson's been the star for North Carolina. But all of the Tar Heels have contributed and played well to this point.
Another one of those runs we spoke of. A 7-0 stretch at the moment. Allen. And Hansbrough, beautiful job of boxing out. Oh, they're going to say, I thought perhaps it was going to be Gray who was trying to fight around him, but they're going to give it on Hansbrough, who can't believe it.
But once you box out, you can't root a guy out. See, he's pushing him out with his lower body and upper body. He was fine. He was in great position. All he had to do was maintain it. He went for a little lower body root canal action, and that gives you a foul call.
That sounds painful, a lower body root canal.
Yeah, it is. Didn't it look painful?
I don't want one of those. 16 foul against North Carolina, and they got Davis down low. You can relive the entire tournament with NCAA March Madness on demand. Watch game highlights, buzzer beaters. Go back and replay any game from the tournament in its entirety, folks. It's all free at ncaa.com. First foul on Walton. It's a 1-and-1 for Ed Davis. Now exactly midway through the first half, and everybody's tried to dismiss the 35-point trouncing they put on Michigan State here December the 3rd, but it's already 32-11.
Well, they've been absolutely splendid, have the Tar Heels. Michigan State has not helped its cause. Turnovers and missed shots. Their margin of error was very thin coming into this game. And they needed to have all cylinders clicking. Taking care of the ball, shot making, but none of that has taken place so far.
Allen gets another open look, and this time it's going against Gray. This time Gray had a hand on Hansbrough.
Free throws coming, and another missed perimeter shot. Chris Allen has struggled with his jump shot, and somebody's going to have to knock down a few of those for Michigan State to start to gain some kind of confidence. Allen is 0 of 3, and he's usually a pretty good perimeter shooter.
Tyler Hansbrough, 1-and-1, making it to this night and to complete the mission. He said it yesterday, a big part of why he came back. And I think, you know, could really go almost right across that starting lineup and to a man so influenced by the loss last year. Humiliating at times it was against Kansas. They fought back within 4, but they were down 40-12, and now they're threatening to put up that same kind of number right here on Michigan State at the beginning.
They're in the neighborhood.
10-0 run Tar Heels.
Boy, but you can't spurt-proof North Carolina if you don't make some shots yourself. And the defense right now really energized, as it has been from the start for the Tar Heels.
Lucas bangs home a 2-point shot.
Look how quickly Lawson has that ball at the foul line at the other end after a made field goal. They just keep the pressure on you, Jim. They don't let up.
Suton's on the floor with 2 fouls. Davis.
Too much size for the freshman Draymond Green. Just threw it right over top of him.
Summers, he'll launch a 3, and he too hits the outside shot. So Michigan State gets a couple of jumpers, this one a 3. Danny Green wants one. That's Davis. And no, they're going to take it away. That ball was on the rim.
But boy, you can see the size advantage that North Carolina has inside. Here's Davis over the top of Green, and let's take a look. That ball clearly still on the cylinder. Good effort by Tyler Hansbrough, but his hands were in the cylinder. His hand was in the cylinder, rather. Well, Jim, you chop at it in 2 or 3 minute segments if you're Michigan State. You're gonna have the under 8-minute timeout rather soon.
Allen, he's still cold, now 0 for 4. Delvon Rowe trying to keep it alive, and does. Lucas coming into traffic, and he'll cut a couple of free throws out of it. Called on Deon Thompson, his first. Carolina going for its 5th title, which would tie North Carolina with Indiana and leave them only behind UCLA and Kentucky, all-time most championships. And again, they've won the last 3 times they've been in the title game. Lucas with one more coming. Lucas, the Big Ten Player of the Year. Here is Corey Lucius. Tom Izzo trying to encourage Chris Allen to, you know, we're going to need you. We're going to have a chance. Stay confident.
Yep. When you get good looks, step into them with confidence and knock them down.
Thompson. Wide of the mark. Carolina, another second chance. And every time down there, there's a miss. Ed Davis is in the area to pick it up.
Well, he's got a tremendous nose for the ball. He's got a wide wingspan. And that time, Michigan State boxed out, but didn't pursue the ball.
That's Lucas. Got away from him. A 9th turnover against the Spartans. Lawson. Knocked out of his hands and a break in the action. I mean, look at the inside play here for North Carolina, Clark. Points in the paint.
Dominating. Just too big at every position, Jim. You look at Davis, you look at Hansbrough, Thompson. They are just 2 or 3 inches taller than all of the Michigan State front line guys, except Suton, and he's been saddled with foul trouble.
Well, there's a rare North Carolina miscue, and Clark got to put your hands, you got good hands, bro. You got to put your hands on the basketball here in the championship game. I thought you were about to get up and take a shot.
No, I'm not going to do that now. I can still catch as long as there's nobody guarding me. Michigan State needs to show some good hands and get a shot to go here.
Suton working on Hansbrough and flips it in off the glass. 7 points for Suton. They've already got Ty Lawson in the books for 5 steals. Here's Ellington, his backcourt running mate.
They're getting whatever they want when they want it, in part because they're so good, they're so focused, but it's the size difference as Morgan takes a shot. He may have gotten hit on that recently broken nose.
Yeah, he broke it just a little more than a week ago, about 10 days ago in the Sweet 16 game against Kansas. And Danny Green commits his 3rd foul with this one.
Going for a steal, and there you see the collision. I think he did get him right along the bridge of the nose. Oh, man, he got him right square on the nose. Raymar still down.
I don't care if you got a custom-fitted mask for the occasion.
No, you're right.
You get hit like that.
No, you're exactly right.
Man, and it's broken already.
Yeah, he got him right with the forearm too, Jim.
And Morgan had one of really his best games in his 3 years at Michigan State on Saturday. Big part of why they advanced to this championship game.
No question about it. Not only did he have big numbers, Jim, he had a presence out there. Good to see him up and on his feet. Hopefully he can return to action.
Junior from Canton, Ohio. Tough kid. Battled back from walking pneumonia during the season. Then has to deal with this over the course of the last 3.5 games. So they're going to take him out, and they're going to be able to bring in the substitution to shoot the free throws. It'll be Chris Allen. Remember, we just saw Tom Izzo counseling him, trying to encourage him. He's been off with his shots so far. Should be a 1-on-1. That again rattles out for Allen. Front end. Ellington, he gets to that spot so fast, it knocks it down with a rainbow. Timeout. Timeout, Michigan State. Just matching their largest lead, the Tar Heels at 43-20, showing no signs of slowing down. Well, North Carolina just blitzing this team from the very start. A timeout just called by Tom Izzo with 6:45 to go in the half, and trying to somehow solve the riddle here. Well, do it at either end.
Yeah, they haven't been able to get anything going. The defense of North Carolina has been terrific. Another turnover. It's just Murphy's Law. Everything that can go wrong is going wrong for Michigan State, and some of that you attribute, a lot of it you attribute to North Carolina. I'll tell you, we've seen them for the last 3 weeks, Jim. They've been extremely focused, very good at the defensive end, efficient offensively. They get it inside and hurt you. They shoot the three and hurt you. They hurt you in transition. And if you can't score, you have no chance to deal with this kind of offensive firepower from North Carolina.
That's Thompson overshooting it. Michigan State. It feeds Suton. Takes the pass, gets to the paint, flips it in again. Now, we've seen him every step of the tournament talking about North Carolina. They really have not been challenged, I would say, except by LSU,
That's
the
right.
SEC regular season champions in a game at Greensboro, round 2. That game was pretty close with 5 minutes to go.
It sure was. Actually, LSU took a lead in the second half, but North Carolina went on one of its vaunted spurts, and this guy was in the middle of it all, Ty Lawson.
What a second half he had in his return from that toe injury in that game, and yet another, the 11th turnover by the Spartans, but North Carolina gives one back. 11 times they've given it back.
And again, this has been a problem in many of the losses Michigan State suffered during the season. Just not taking care of the basketball. And you can ill afford to do that against a team like this. North Carolina takes full advantage of your miscues.
Suton short shot. Now North Carolina, LSU stayed with them for most of the way, but in the end it was another double-digit win. In fact, every game in the tournament, all 5 of them, North Carolina's won by a minimum of 12 points. 12-point win back in the regional final against Oklahoma and Blake Griffin down in Memphis. Here's Ellington. He's got another 3.
Yeah, nobody has played better than this kid the last month and a half at the 2-guard position. I mean, he has just been remarkably consistent. Defending, rebounding, and the stroke has been pure.
Corey Lucius, and the freshman hits the 3. All 11 of his points Saturday coming in the first half. 3 threes. Included in that total. Is Lawson to Hansbrough. And that combo does it one more time. Assist Lawson, basket Hansbrough. North Carolina threatening to put up just a huge first half point total here.
Well, they've averaged 90 points a game on the year, Jim, and we're seeing why. They just come at you in waves. Inside, outside, Lawson running the show, Hansbrough doing his thing in the paint.
Jim Nance and Clark Kellogg back at Ford Field, where North Carolina won by 35 early in the season against Michigan State, and back then they put up 53 in the first half, and they're on their way to, it looks like, exceeding that here tonight. In fact, the all-time championship record for most points in the first half is 53 in a championship game. That was by Syracuse in that 2003 final against Kansas down in New Orleans. Ball belongs now to the Spartans. Tyler Zeller seeing his first action. Number 44 defending on Suton.
Raymar Morgan back in the lineup. Boy, nothing easy for Michigan State, although Lucius has found a sweet spot at the top of the key from behind the arc.
He's hit 2 of them now.
Boy, if Michigan State could somehow get on a mini run and cut this to 12, 14 before the half to give them something to hang their hats on, it might bode well for the second half. They
feed Walton. Magic Johnson. At the half, Greg, and Seth will have an interview with Irvin and an AT&T Naismith Player of the Year awarding. That's all coming up on AT&T at the half. Walton at the line after Zeller's first foul. The 1-on-1.
Tom Izzo hoping his team can just find something in these next 3 minutes that he can build on at the half. Something positive to give his team a little bit of confidence and some life. Perhaps try to re-energize this building because it has been very quiet for 72,000 bodies. Most of them Spartans fans.
And Spartan fans trying to give their team a little injection of life. Suton to the bench, Allen back out there. Davis working on Green. And there is Summers, skying. Lucius has given them a little lift. Here's Summers. Body's tangled. And it's called on Morgan.
Yeah, he had his arm around Tyler Zeller's waist.
Tomorrow on CBS, it's a Hollywood whodunit with a cast full of characters. Don't miss TV's #1 news show, The Mentalist. New episode again tomorrow on CBS, America's most watched network. That's the second foul on Morgan, and now Michigan State up to 10+ fouls. It's a double bonus. 2 free throws for the freshman who had to sit out so much of the year after an early season broken wrist. Was out 13 weeks, and a great late season addition. He's given them at times some valuable minutes in this tournament.
Well, I tell you what, had he not broken his wrist, as you see Ty Lawson and Tyler Hansbrough returning, Larry Drew III, and Ed Davis going to take a seat. But had he not broken his wrist, Jim, this was a young man that would have really fortified that front line with his versatility. He's got a nice touch, pretty active for a big guy. Roy Williams looking to not allow Michigan State any kind of life here. He's got his starters back other than Bobby Frazier. But they're going to try to stranglehold this game in this next 2 minutes here.
Feed it to Green. And that's a charge. Nothing coming up Green for Michigan State. Draymond with his second.
Terrific job of rotating by Deion Thompson. Well, he's had some kind of first half at both ends of the floor. Just anticipated the cut and got in excellent position defensively.
And Lucius able to cut off the dribble of Lawson. That's something they were so keen on, trying to prevent him from moving around. And he's grimacing right now. Lawson calls a timeout. He got poked in the eye.
Yeah, he did. That's exactly right, Jim.
Lawson says, I can't see. Let's take a little timeout. We are back with 1:53 to go. And Ty Lawson showing some rather remarkable powers of recovery. He's right back out there. And that toe, which he was even walking around today. I saw him during the day when he collected the hardware for the Cousy Award. He was still walking on that boot.
Yeah, well, that's just precautionary,
Yep.
Jim. I mean, you want to take care of that. You don't want to, just because you start feeling well, you don't want to get away from your preventative maintenance. So that's part of what's going on with that boot.
We got 13 seconds on the shot clock. Lawson pretty casual with it at 7. And that's a push off against Lucius, and Lawson will be able to shoot 2. How about Wayne Ellington just filling it up tonight?
Well, for the tournament, he has averaged 19 points a game on 50% shooting. He's made 14 threes coming into tonight's game, and he's added to that total with a couple here in the first half.
Lawson, you mentioned it had 17 free throw attempts against Villanova on Saturday. Actually had more shots at the line than the Wildcats team did.
Yeah.
Struggled a bit, made only 10, but he's true with these 2. And the North Carolina total is over 50. Lucas, quick shot. Banks it in.
You'll take him any way you can get him if you're Michigan State right now. Any way you can get him. But you can't trade baskets. Too much size here for Green against Hansbrough.
And Hansbrough will also be shooting free throws. That's on Green, his third.
Boy, North Carolina does such a good job, Jim, of taking advantage of whatever the defense gives. They know they've got considerable height on the Michigan State front line, so no rush. Throw it inside and let Tyler go to work. Throw it inside, let Deion Thompson go to work. Whoever has the mismatch, that's who they've been able to find, and then they complement that with the perimeter shooting of Ellington. But they've really dominated action in the paint here tonight.
11 for Hansbrough. Delvon Rowe, freshman who has had 2 knee surgeries in the last 16 months. And someone who North Carolina really had its eye on.
Sure
wanted him to come down to Chapel Hill. He decided to go up there and play for Michigan State instead.
If he doesn't have any setbacks with the knees, he's going to make a tremendous jump between now and next season with strengthening and conditioning and playing more basketball during the summer.
Ellington, uncontested. North Carolina has a record first half total in the history of the championship game.
Well, so much for that potential late half surge for Michigan State. Roy Williams went to his starters, and they've clamped down again.
Lucas with 2. Pretty much hold it for the last shot. About a 1.5 second differential. A lead that's been as large as 24. Lawson snaps it over. Hansbrough with a 3. Short. Up ahead to Morgan. Another steal. The 6th of the half by Lawson. No surge and no answer for Michigan State. I believe it now. Points off turnovers in the tournament. Averaging 18. Already within a point of that in the first half. Michigan State.
Michigan State needs a lot to happen good for them early. Try to look at it in 3 to 4 minute segments, and right away a turnover. Over dribbling and a chance for North Carolina to cash in.
Danny Green tapped it. He thought to Ellington, but good hustle by Walton, the senior and the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. There's Suton laying it in. He's in double figures.
So we heard Magic Johnson just talk about Michigan State needing to get that ball inside to Suton. Well done on that trip. So again, I started to mention 4 minute segments, Jim, is what Michigan State has to look at. They can't look at this whole deficit. They've got to try to win the 4 minute segments. +2, +4, anything positive is what they're trying to grab hold of. But they've got to defend without fouling, because North Carolina enjoyed a 9 free throws made advantage on 10 additional free throws attempted in the first half. 15 of 19 compared to 6 of 9 for Michigan State.
That foul was on Lucas, and one more coming for Lawson, and you just saw the graphic. That one eye-popping stat of all from the first half. Ty Lawson with 7 steals in the first half. That ties the full game championship game record.
But when they played back here in December, he had 7 steals in the game as well. He may surpass that here tonight.
Yeah, one to break the record that he now ties at the moment with Tommy Amaker from back in the Duke days and Mookie Blaylock from Oklahoma. They had 7 steals each, and Lawson's right on that number.
Offensive foul that time on Raymar Morgan, trying to set a screen, and Delvon Rowe going to return. And for Carolina, it's just business as usual. Take care of the ball, execute. There you see the big discrepancy in turnovers. been a story throughout this tournament for North Carolina. They've averaged 9 steals a game in the 5 tournament games coming into tonight's action.
Hansbrough back of the rim. Rowe pulls it down. That last foul on Michigan State was the 3rd on Morgan as Walton comes up short. Hansbrough raced down to make sure he was in position for his 3rd rebound tonight. Ellington, big step, blocked out of bounds by Rowe.
No rush for North Carolina. Very content to just run through their options in the half court. And they've got plenty of them.
Yep, hits the shot this time. Up to 13 on the game. Good passing here to set up a 3. No. Hansbrough with another rebound. Hansbrough got time to commit, but that's because he took an extra step. So called for that. I was reminded at halftime by Steve Kirshner, exceptional sports information man from North Carolina, as is Matt Larson over at Michigan State. We're grateful to them for all the years they've given us, fed us information. But when Carolina was last in a title game, it was against Illinois in 05, but they led by 13 at halftime. Illinois got all the way back, pulled even with them, never took the lead before Carolina won it in the end.
But that Illinois team was a team that was ranked #2 in the country all year long and had terrific playmakers and shot makers. And there's Thompson going right over the top.
It's going the other way. Thompson misses the short shot.
But you get to see, I mean, you've seen it throughout the game tonight. North Carolina has never faced any real resistance. They've been able to get whatever they've wanted, in part because they're much bigger on the perimeter and they're taller inside and more experienced. I mean, you can really see the experience factor coming into play. This team, again, terribly disappointed last year, losing to Kansas in the semifinals. And to a man, focused from day one to get to this game and to win it.
Yep, looking for that redemption. That's Summers scoring for Michigan State. Hansbrough, he's got to take that one. And Rowe got the outlet. They've got the numbers. Big high lob, way too high, even though Summers can pogo stick it, as you called it the other day. Not this time. Look at Lawson with all these thefts tonight.
Well, he's got 7 of them. He just does a good job. Some of those were just thrown right to him, though. But he does a good job tracing the ball, we call it. Tracing the ball with your eyes and with your hands. And he's excellent at it. Low center of gravity, good quickness, excellent anticipation.
On the shot clock, here is Lawson. Got Hansbrough. He's been hitting threes this year, but not this one. Sutan goes over to grab it. Trying to make a dent. Sutan opened the game with a 3. Has another one. Sutan, who got a call yesterday from Croatian national coach. His mother's a Serbian, his father's from Croatia, saying, hey, down the line, we'd like you to play for the national team, and he was thrilled. And that slides off the rim. Rebound goes to Summers. Stolen. There it is, the record. That's number 8 for Lawson. An all-time championship record. And Davis somehow got the shot to go. Almost tapped it in, volleyball style, and he's going to the line. How about that? 8 times you take possession back, as Lawson has done. Breaking the action at Ford Field. Here's the record steal in the title game. Lawson for the 8th time. Some of you just tuning in, accustomed to seeing CSI Miami about this time, wrapping up. This has been a little case of CSI Detroit as he's about to steal that championship trophy. Yeah, he's got one toe already on the victory platform.
Oh, yeah, he does. You're right about that, partner.
They got Davis at the line.
And this will be a 3-point opportunity after the 18th Michigan State turnover in this game.
This young man's been very impressive tonight. 9 points, 5 rebounds.
It's right about his typical contribution, Jim.
Yep.
He usually throws in a shot block or 2 as well, but just his presence.
Oh, good look. Rowe showing some aggression. Made a number of plays here in the first 5 minutes of the second half. And he's got a 3-point opportunity. Ellington whistled for that. His second. Well, there's so many people here tonight clad in green, but I have to tell you, there have been estimates here in the local press. They thought to be maybe 60 of the 70-some thousand would be Michigan State followers, and I see so many people here too in Carolina blue.
Yeah, there's a lot of powder blue.
They got a huge support system that came in here for this title game. Got the tickets.
Still a few more green clad than blue clad, but you're right.
Yep. Ellington. After a hot first half, that's Rowe, and he finally able to reach down and grab it quickly. Michigan State has Lucius on the wing. This kid can fire it. Short on the 3, and again it's Davis reaching up and grabbing it with 2 hands. His 7th rebound now. Lawson comes flying in and is fouled.
He put so much pressure on you, Jim, when you're backpedaling.
And that's what Tom Izzo said to us yesterday, that he's reminded him a lot of Mateen Cleaves. He said he's built like Mateen Cleaves, talking about Lawson. And we've just got to figure out a way to get the ball out of his hands, because when he's got it, something's going to happen, and it's not going to be good for us.
That's right.
And again, the big story is he's gotten his hands on it when Michigan State's had the ball.
Right.
8 times, taking it away. And there he is again, making something happen, sending Hansbrough to the line. Folks, I want to remind you now, the Masters is coming up. And we have all kinds of exclusive coverage coming for you, including Masters Live, streaming exclusive video of Amen Corner, live action down at Amen Corner, plus coverage of the 15th and 16th holes live, and Masters Extra with bonus coverage of the entire field. Check it out, cbssports.com and masters.com. And of course, our coverage with late night highlights Thursday and Friday, and over the weekend, full coverage with that tradition unlike any other coming up this week. There's Tammy, Tyler's mother, applauding. 1 of 2 for Tyler that time.
Already 5 team fouls for Michigan State.
Allen tapped out by Sutan. Nope, just not seeing that tonight. Lawson. Look at Lucas flying.
Nice job that time. Delvon Rowe doing a really good job for Michigan State on the defensive glass. His defensive rebound allowed Kalen Lucas to get it out in transition. He went 1-on-2, but he found the seam and drew the foul. There hasn't been enough of that for Michigan State, because for most of the night they've been taking the ball out of the net or throwing it to North Carolina.
Yeah. Lucas will have one more. You know, Judd Heathcote, I just love the way, and you see this so often in college basketball, the coach who's in charge of the leadership position, stewardship of the program, pays homage to the man that helped build it into the greatness that it is, like Judd Heathcote, who, of course, mentored Tom Izzo. He flew in from his home in Spokane on Thursday night, got in late, and stayed up with Tom, broke down film with his young protege.
Hey, once a coach, always a coach.
Till 2 in the morning.
Once a coach, always a coach.
I just love the way that they still involve them, too.
Yeah, that's neat.
It's so neat to see.
That connection.
Coach Heathcote, who, of course, led them to that title, coached them to that championship in '79. Would even mention on the other side, Roy Williams, and that father-son-like relationship with Dean Smith.
Very special.
Lawson. Look at Bobby Frazier. He got 7 rebounds on Saturday. Big part of their win. Loose ball, Allen on the floor. Arrow's going to keep it with Carolina.
And of those 7 rebounds you mentioned for Bobby Frazier on Saturday, 5 were of the offensive variety. And he just ran in and got one there. Guards can get in there and pluck some rebounds away if they're attentive.
Lucas back over to the bench. Summers in. Carolina shooting only 2 of 11 in this half.
And Michigan State is not taking advantage, Jim.
Nope, not enough. They've chipped away fractionally, but looking for that spurt ability that you came up with long ago. And that's Green giving it up. Summers up ahead and shields the body. Was able to screen out Hansbrough. Well done. So it had been 24 at one time, and now it's 16. And now the building's coming to life.
Well, Michigan State has to try to keep this crowd energized by coming up with stops and scores.
Slides off the rim, and Lucius tries to save it. Foot on the line, though.
Boy, Jim, they're just not quite retrieving the loose balls the way they did Saturday. Turnovers have been a problem, as we've documented throughout, and they just haven't come up with the 50-50 balls either. And there you see Lucas, right foot on the line. Good call by the officials. Clearly out of bounds. Now they've got to find a way to come up with another stop. North Carolina has eased off the throttle a little bit.
Yes, they have. They missed their last 5 shots. But you can end that streak thanks to Danny Green. He's had a knack for doing that. Anytime there's been even a little drought, he's come up with the basket. Green put back. As Allen continues to struggle from the outside. Out of the break, Green will be at the line for the Spartans, who are trying to find a little life late. Draymond Green comes out of the break with 2 at the line. The dancing bear.
Happy feet and a pretty strong body to operate inside. Kind of an undersized inside player with a nice touch.
The lead was 21 at the half, and now at 18. And Carolina shooting poorly in this half, but only able to recover 3 points back.
Well, the margin for error is so slim for Michigan State. They've got to be perfect. All loose balls, no turnovers.
Good reach in by Lucas. Yep. Oh, right back. Carolina on the floor with Green. This is going to be a foul call, actually, against North Carolina.
Well, Lucas tried to dribble it out of traffic before he had it. Michigan State fortunate to retain possession.
Second foul on Davis.
See, watch, Lucas tries to dribble it out of there and has it knocked away. And excellent effort by both teams to get on the floor for it.
Shuton back on the floor.
There's your story of the game, folks. The 18 turnovers for Michigan State.
And Ellington, who just led North Carolina to that explosive first half. The top man was 17. That's Lucius. Shuton, who has 14, looking for more. Nope, gives it up. And dribbles it. Really uncontested, right out of bounds.
It's been that kind of night.
19 turnovers.
Yeah.
Wow.
A number of those have been unforced, Jim, just like that.
Yep.
Over dribbling, not handling the ball, making assumption passes. And a lot of that I have to attribute to inexperience, being so excited to be here, wanting to play well, and going a little too fast for their own good.
And wanting to please all the citizens of the state, as Ellington, a hit on the hand by Morgan. It's going to be his fourth. And there's pressure that comes with that, you know.
There certainly is.
You try to make so many people happy. They were able to do that on Saturday. But they were starting to feel like this was that word, and I heard Seth talk about it earlier, the word destiny, and I really felt as though everybody was talking it up that way. And it came crashing down a little bit at the start of this game when North Carolina just raced out to that big lead, 22-7.
Well, oftentimes, Jim, when you're close to home and you're hearing that kind of talk, you're feeling it a little bit as players, it takes some pressure off of the opponent.
Yep.
North Carolina came in here obviously focused, extremely talented and experienced. No denying that. They've been the #1 team this season longer than any other team in college basketball. And really set out to get off to a great start tonight and did just that.
Lucas squeezes it inside with the pass to Green. He converts, and a chance to add one more.
One of the few opportunities that Michigan State has had off dribble penetration to create something inside. And that's a nice finish by Draymond Green to get off to a great start tonight and did just that.
Now there it is, Green. (67-50). Each team 6 fouls. Next one for each. Sets up 1-1. Danny Green. Hansbrough. Bounced outside, and again, the loose balls land in the hands of North Carolina most of the night. And a reach-in call against the Spartans.
And that sends them over the limit, Jim, which now means an excellent free throw shooting team in North Carolina is going to be shooting free throws the rest of the way on the season. 75% are the Tar Heels from the line.
Second foul on Walton. 1-1. Lawson has made only 1 of 7 from the field tonight. But you know, you can't shoot a lot of holes in this performance. He's shot the ball so well from 3 during the NCAA tournament. Just hasn't been exactly what his strong suit's been tonight.
Hasn't needed to shoot it well. He's done plenty of work in other areas.
Nice looking shot that time. That was Lucas. And the Michigan State fans thought they had a takeaway.
And if that's on Green, I'm not sure if it is.
It's on Walton, number 3.
Yeah, Walton comes in trying to dig through. It's hard to tell. He got some arm there. He did get a lot of the orange, but he got some arm as well.
By the way, they tell us an earlier foul that first had been charged against Raymar Morgan a couple of trips ago is not on Morgan, so he's only got 3, not 4. And again, an offensive rebound for North Carolina off the front end miss. Under 10 minutes to go. That one rolls out. That's going to be on Thompson, I believe.
So that means Draymond Green, if the foul was called, then maybe it was just knocked out of bounds. No, it's going to be 1-1.
Tonight on The Late Show with David Letterman, don't miss Stupid Pet Tricks, plus Paul Rudd. Then Craig Ferguson welcomes Amy Adams. That's tonight here on CBS. It will be a 1-1 for Green. Tom Izzo, by the way, before the season started, as Thompson sits down. Thompson has 4 fouls. Izzo told the kids in the zone that they won the Big Ten, he would shave his head at the end of the season. They won the Big Ten by 4 games, and he's going to follow through with that promise. Probably not until May, but it's all coming off, okay?
I'd like to get a photo of that.
I'm sure we'll see one.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure, too.
He's not going to let those kids down. That's what he said. I promise. Lawson to Hansbrough.
Well, he is so good at navigating in traffic with his strength and his ball handling ability. A room service dime for Tyler Hansbrough.
He's got 16. Allen, can he hit one? Tapped out by Suton. Allen chases it.
Well, Michigan State, if they can get a couple of threes to fall, Jim, and somehow get this to 10 points with about 4 minutes to go, they have an outside chance to maybe put some pressure on North Carolina. But they've got to make a couple of threes.
Here's Lucas with one. That's way off. Allen, who's 0 for 6 from out here, 0 for 7.
That's a good look for a good shooter who has really struggled recently, though. And the mountain is just so high and hard when you're down, and you don't get anything to fuel that energy level. All Carolina has to do is execute and make a shot every now and then.
And Davis.
And the hole just gets deeper when that happens.
11 for the freshman.
Well, these fans have tried to energize them, Jim.
Yeah, they have.
Michigan State just hasn't given them much to chew on.
Try to give a little fans fuel injection. But running on fumes right now. Allen will be going to the line out of the break. And fouls on Davis, his third. They've just announced the record number for attendance at a national title game by 8,000 roughly, more than in New Orleans, to see Keith Smart hit the winner back in '87. 72,922, including many of the alumni from each of the schools, and Hashim Thabit from
Big
Connecticut.
fella.
Stuck around for a couple of days.
Yeah, he's got some pretty fresh sunglasses
Yes,
on
he
there.
does.
Styling and profiling a little bit, big man.
And Chris Allen gets to get the feeling there from the free throw line anyway. Vince Carter, Antoine Jamison played that '98 Final Four.
That's right.
Chris Allen's first name is Xavier. His teammates call him the X-Man. And he hits a couple from the line and is replaced by Corey Lucius. This is the kind of defensive effort that Tom Izzo was hoping from his team in the first half.
Well, the turnovers caused the Spartans just to not be able to do anything in a positive fashion tonight.
Clark, a few milestones tonight. Not only your first championship call, but attendance record, points in the first half by Carolina. Their lead.
That's right. All of it belonging to North Carolina.
And Hansbrough will move up to number 4 if he gets 2 more points and move past Oscar Robertson. Plus, it snowed on championship day here in Detroit.
Well, we are in the Midwest, and it is early April, so the weather is a bit unpredictable.
Carolina forced to call a timeout with that full court pressure applied. That's Rowe, and reaching in, committing the foul. And this will be a 1-on-1 at the other end. Third on Rowe. And Thursday on CBS, 2 mysteries will leave CSI puzzled right to the very end. Lawrence Fishburne stars in the new episode. TV's #1 drama, CSI, Thursday on CBS, America's #1 network. 1-1 Davis. Looked like exactly what they wanted to do.
Yeah,
send Davis down to the line.
Yeah, try to stretch it out, and then they just got to get a couple of shots to go.
Yep. Lucas.
They've got to attack quick.
Davis.
Good job.
Fouls Lucas.
Opened up the floor and allowed Kalen Lucas to go one-on-one, and if you're going to have any chance to get back, one of the ways you can do that is by drawing fouls and trying to put points on the board with the clock stopped. And then if you do score from here, you get a chance to go into your full court pressure again.
Now the closest they've had it this half, 15 at 68-53, and Lucas can match that right now.
Well, again, I said the magic number would be right around 10 at the 4-minute mark. That would be.
Have a chance.
Yep, you give yourself an opportunity then.
Davis down with 4. Lucas, who really hails from about 15 miles out of downtown in Sterling Heights, wanted to be introduced here from Detroit. Grandmother lives, he says, about 2 minutes away from Ford Field. And I've spent a lot of time with Granny, he said, through the years, so he wanted to give Detroit its props, and that's how he was introduced in the lineups. Lucas with 12. There's Lawson. Again, he feeds Hansbrough. No foul call. Now, a 3-point shot made would electrify this place for a moment anyway, but they go inside. Now out. Here's a chance at the 3. No. Sutan tries to anticipate, but it's Hansbrough pulling it away.
Good look. Just not able to convert the shots, but good penetration. Now they've got to play defense probably for 20 seconds or so. Carolina going to be patient and no rush.
Just 5 of 19 this half. Under 30%. Hansbrough.
Tough shot.
Improves the percentage and moves to number 4 all time in tournament scoring. Trailing only a decorated 3, led by Leitner. This is Sutan. Sutan, that's a 3-point shot. The big man is the one hitting it from the outside tonight on a couple of occasions. He's got a double-double. It's down to 15 again. Timeout, Michigan State. Leitner, Elvin Hayes, the biggie, Danny Manning, and then Hansbrough. And a shot to even move past Danny here with 6:11 to go. That's the least of Hansbrough's concerns right now.
You got that right.
All he wanted when he came to North Carolina, and he said it after a very great freshman season. He wanted a national championship, and I can remember after that freshman year, which ended with a second-round loss to George Mason, how torn up he was this kid Tyler Hansbrough, and how he talked about all he wanted was to win a ring for Roy Williams at some time in his career. He's got about 6 minutes left to close it out.
Carolina will go to work at about the 10-second mark.
Lawson waits and gets the bounce. 12 points on the game.
That was perfect execution, Jim. Move the ball, move players, and at about 10 seconds, get it in the hands of Ty Lawson and let him go to work.
That's Walton with the jumper. Hit Green in his face, put a hand up, influenced the shot. Tomorrow on NCIS, why would the FBI abduct the agency's top scientist, Mark Harmon, stars in a new NCIS? It's tomorrow on America's #1 network, CBS. Hansbrough's second foul. 10 team fouls now against the Tar Heels, 2 the rest of the way. Here's Morgan. And Michigan State now going with Austin Thornton to give him a little chance from the outside. Freshman from Sand Lake, Michigan. He can shoot it.
Yes, he can. And Tom Izzo realizing that the only chance his team has is the full court press and then try to knock down some threes. The time getting very short. And this guy is so good with the ball in his hands, Ty Lawson.
And that's Hansbrough knocking it out.
Maybe a little quick that time. Lawson saw the seam and tried to convert. Now Michigan State.
And the second time in this half, they've worked it to 15, but there's only 5 minutes remaining.
Pick and pop for Sutan. Oh, that's even better.
A third on Hansbrough. Again, double bonus.
Yep. If you're Hansbrough there, you just want to hedge out and not put yourself in position to foul. Roy, aghast. I'm not sure if he's upset with Hansbrough or didn't think that Hansbrough committed the foul.
Kalen Lucas, whose favorite phrase is, before you can achieve, you must first believe. And so true. Got it to 14. It was before the regional final game against Louisville that Magic Johnson, who has been such an incredible support system through the years for his alma mater, he embraced Lucas and told him it was his job to lead the Spartans to a national championship.
As you would expect from a point guard himself. Magic Johnson understanding the leadership responsibilities of that position.
Lucas comes out.
Well, I tell you, this crowd has been pretty good, Jim. They've tried on a number of occasions to rally this Michigan State team. It's a pretty good run, +6 in over 2.5 minutes.
And Lucius clutching his right foot. He got tangled up with Ty Lawson, who has had the most scrutinized foot of the entire tournament. Lawson, well, those two hit the floor. Third foul on Lucius. It'll send Lawson to the other end here in a minute.
Take a look at the left side of your screen, folks. Boy, I couldn't tell what happened. He got his leg tied up here, trying to go over the screen. Tyler Hans, oh, it may have been
right
knee
there.
to knee.
Yeah, he got caught up with the Hansbrough.
Yeah, knee to knee between Lucius and Hansbrough. Boy, but I wonder how, and they called that foul on Lucius.
That's so. One three-point shooter that they had hope of somehow making up some points in a hurry. We saw what this kid could do in the first half of Saturday's game.
He got all 11 of his points in about a 7-minute period there.
He had 9 in a minute and a half at one time.
Right, that's right.
Lawson, I asked him yesterday over here at the practice, his shooting's improved so much. Now in his 3rd year in North Carolina. And what's been the difference? And he credited his dad. Remember, we saw his dad help coach him back with Dante Cunningham of Villanova's father back when they were young kids at Andrews Air Force Base. But he said his dad helped him so much. And the 2 things he's always thought about: follow through and shoot it higher. And he shoots 2 through that time. Back to 15.
Well, you get some air under that shot with good rotation and follow through. Even when it's a little short, it has a chance to roll in. And Michigan State kind of chipping away, doing exactly what they need to do here, Jim. Trying to get points on the board, attacking the rim, drawing fouls, and stretching out the game a little bit.
Danny Green with 4 fouls now. Summers for a pair. He's been playing ball with his teammate Kalen Lucas since middle school. Lucas just hit 2 at the line, and Summers will try to match that. Lucas comes in for Thornton. To think what this Michigan State team has done, they've had to play the best possible seed in every single round since the brackets came out. As a 2, they beat a 15. Then they beat a 7, then they beat a 3, a 1, and a 1, and a 1 here again tonight they're facing. Hardest road possible, and it's been a tough road here tonight.
A very tough road, but they've continued to fight.
24 at one time, it's down to 13.
Now, the thing you have to be conscious of here.
Oh, the ball was kicked. It's going back to North Carolina. Lucas was about to have a breakaway.
Now 7 seconds on the shot clock. We'll take another look at it. Lucas stepping in there. You see it.
Yep, he did.
A little soccer action there. But now 7 seconds left. You know it's going to go in the. They're going to put it in the hands of Ty Lawson. They'll spread the floor and let him try to penetrate. Because of the kick ball, they've extended it back to 15.
Yep, up to 15. Tom O'Neill, Curtis Shaw, Tony Green. The ones really recognized tonight to govern play here at the championship game. Congratulations. And there's Lawson. And right in his hands. He acted like he had only 7 seconds.
Well, he saw the seam, Jim, and got right to the rim. He's so difficult to defend one-on-one. This has that explosive quickness, change of pace. That's an offensive foul on Lucas. He pushed off.
And Hansbrough stood his ground as he's done so many times to draw it. Down to 3:51 to go. Well, North Carolina shooting in the second half not anywhere close to what it was in the first half, but look at the game totals here. Turnovers, 20 by Michigan State, and that put them in such a deep hole early. 22-7 start for the Tar Heels, led by 21 at the half. There's Marcus Ginyard, such a big part of this team, and played in only 3 games this season, broke a foot. He's going to apply for a red shirt, but part of really, if you will, he'll get the year back, but part of the senior class that with a win tonight becomes the winningest senior class in the history of the program. The 123 wins over the course of 4 years for the likes of Hansbrough and Danny Green and Bobby Fraser, who's out there now, and Mike Copeland.
Very impressive. And it'll be even more sweet culminating in a championship, and that's 3+ minutes away for North Carolina unless something crazy happens here. They're going to get that championship they came back for.
Here's a little look at the game summary, Clark.
Yeah, it's been all Carolina from the start. Michigan State couldn't find any rhythm. Turnovers, self-inflicted wounds that North Carolina took advantage of. Ellington was superb in the first half, and that's really where the game was decided. This margin has been between 15 and 20 here, 21 in this second half.
Lawson now 11 of 13 from the line tonight. Allen coming back out, and Morgan. You know, some seniors here too that are deep on that bench. Guys like Patrick Moody. I mentioned Copeland earlier. Jack Wooten, who tonight's not in uniform. And J.B. Tanner. We saw him. We were there. We saw Ginyard. We were there when
he senior day.
On senior day. Molly Brenner, even their manager. Such a pride for that senior group that's going to do something. Win more games. You think of some of the 4-year classes in Carolina history. Pretty impressive.
That's a heck of an accomplishment.
There's Summers. That ball looked like it was touched on the rim. Sutton giving chase, so is Summers. Flips it somehow to Lucas. He'll come in. Spin it? No. Hansbrough snags it. This group, though, what makes them special is they came in on the heels of the 2005 championship team that basically they all left after they won in St. Louis. And they had to rebuild it all through this senior class.
But they've done it.
It took the gradual steps to this night tonight. A Final Four a year ago.
And Jim, that's typically how it happens. Sometimes you have to go through the adversity and disappointment of not reaching your goals for a season or two. That steals your drive and prepares you for the kind of focus you need to have to be a champion.
Raymar Morgan has just fouled out.
And what a run this team has had. A disappointing night tonight. With Raymar Morgan, who was outstanding in the semifinal game, only a junior.
You know, they knew it, though. It was a chance to bring a little light, spread some sunshine on the state that's going through, as we all are. You know, here is a country trying to work through these economic times, but it's really hit this state especially hard. And trying to find a way to make so many people happy.
Yeah, well, they did, Jim.
Yep.
They came up short tonight, but the way this team played, the way it embraced the support of its fans and appreciated it, can't help but marvel at their effort and what they've accomplished this season.
Stolen. Here's Bobby Fraser. Let Fraser take it in. There you go. He was a starter as a freshman, that team that had to rebuild, made all ACC freshmen. And there's his dad, who's a Hall of Fame coach in the high school ranks in his career back in Illinois. His son Bobby, a key contributor, missed the tournament a year ago with a knee injury. There's a 3 by Summers. All getting into it tonight, spreading it around.
Yep. Sharing the sugar, we call it.
2 minutes away till the coronation, and later one shining moment. That Michigan State team had its own customized one shining moment that was shown to the team at about 6 o'clock tonight. Through the Tom Izzo years, it was such a big part of that Mateen Cleaves championship team. They believed in it so much, and it had basically every player who had played for Coach Izzo. And at the very end, there was a graphic that said, Detroit 2009, who will take the last shot? Because it was Cleaves who had come up with it, that I want to be the last shot on that video, because that means we won it.
That's right.
So they said there's a team, watched it and almost meditated tonight. I'm sure they're going to be in that video a lot, but I don't think they're going to be on that last shot. Here's Lawson now just weaving around. And Allen reaches in. Now this team last spring, during the campaign days, had a visitor on campus. President Obama was there working out with the team and having a great time.
Pretty smooth lefty operator.
Yes, indeed. By the way, got to give him a nod. You know, he picked the brackets. He stepped out, and he did pick Carolina to win the national championship. Well, how about this balance, Clark?
Just exactly as they've done it all tournament long, actually all season long, those three. The senior Hansbrough, Lawson and Ellington juniors. They have been laser focused. And came out tonight, applied the pressure early, took it right to the Spartans and gained control of this one in the first 5 minutes and have not let go of it.
It was absolutely just grabbing it by the throat at the beginning. Talking about that 4-year step, they go from a first-year, second-round loss to that wonderful team out of George Mason, made it to the Final Four. That remarkable effort. They go to that, to blowing a lead in a regional final in 07 to Georgetown, to last year, the next step. So they went a step now, each of the last couple of years anyway. Yep, to the Final Four, to what's going to be the championship. Danny Green is fouled out. And that's going to be it for the man who wore a Carolina uniform more than any player in history. There's guys like Hansbrough in his class had missed a couple of games, but for Danny Green, 145 times he got to wear Carolina blue.
And just this year became a starter, an outstanding six-man.
Yep. And with that, by the way, more victories.
Yeah.
He has been a part of more Carolina victories than any Tar Heel ever. Joe Holiday, his assistant, gives him a nod. Roy's assistant, Thornton at the line for a pair.
Well, this Michigan State team, as you take a look at Roy Williams, on his way to his second national championship, is going to return. Pretty much everybody that you see out there for the Spartans is going to be back, with the exception of Walton, of the players that are on the floor now. Walton and Ebong, also a senior.
Ebach seeing his first action as Tom Izzo goes 12 deep. There's Marquise Gray, a senior for him.
Well, the Spartans didn't lack effort. They just couldn't execute as well as they needed to tonight to have a chance. Goran Suton, another senior, but Chris Allen, that young man, had a tough night. Tough couple of shooting games. There's Goran Suton, was outstanding throughout the tournament for Michigan State. Delvon Rowe and Raymar Morgan will be back next year.
No, Clark, March the 8th, less than a month ago, we were there for the regular season finale when Carolina beat Duke, close out the regular season. Lawson played in that game, was hurt, but it kind of inflamed the injury by playing, so he missed the ACC tournament. They got knocked off in the ACC tournament. And alas, I think it cost him probably the overall #1 seed of the tournament. I still thought they might be the one overall. Right. They ended up being, I guess, regarded as the 3rd overall seed of the tournament. But I think most folks thought all season long that this was the best team in college basketball.
Without question, Jim, when you looked at the experience and the ability of this roster, they had the best combination of both.
Tim Herzog comes in, the 7-footer from Flint. 22, or number 40 for Michigan State.
Isaiah Dolman. So Tom Izzo getting some guys a minute plus of playing time here.
Well, North Carolina is going to stampede through this tournament without anyone coming within 12 points, better than 12 points. So the Tar Heels going to be all double-digit wins. And a timeout.
Roy Williams wants to get his reserves in as well. Tyler Hansbrough, look at that.
Oh, there it
excitement.
is. C.B. McGrath, give him a hug. Steve Robinson, another assistant. Holiday.
And that joy. Look at that young man.
Marcus Ginyard, they've been together for 4 years. Hansbrough has what he wanted. There's his father, an orthopedic surgeon back in Poplar Bluff, Missouri. Mark Campbell on the floor. His dad was a letterman for Dean Smith. Justin Watts, a freshman from Durham. Copeland on the floor. Moody and Tanner. And this is Watts getting a second chance. And beats the shot clock. Everything going Carolina way.
It's been that kind of night, Jim.
Even off the bench.
Been that kind of night for the Tar Heels. They've earned it, though.
Campbell has it. He gonna drive in. It spins off the rim, and Thornton with the rebound. Carolina is gonna have played 240 minutes in this tournament. And 154 of the 240, they had a double-digit lead. They trailed for less than 10 minutes the entire tournament. And tonight, they came out and showed everyone they were the best in college basketball. Right at the beginning.
Yep. No doubt about it.
The performance from the start that could not have been any finer. North Carolina is the 2009 national champion.